Hi, I'm Julie Nuclei, and this is a quick video on the transit Saturn Square Neptune. So this is a time when people will tend to experience discouragement, pessimism. They feel like their practical ambitions, aka Saturn, can't be achieved because it's hitting Neptune, the planet of it can make you feel weak, disillusioned, confused, and so you can feel all those things and just end up feeling very discouraged, like you aren't up to the task of achieving your goals and realizing your ambitions. And the key thing to understand with this transit is that it's an illusion. Astrology is a lot like a Mexican restaurant because you have 5,000 things on the menu, but at the end of the day, it's just different combinations of beans, cheese, and tortillas. So like in this case, to understand this transit, all we really have to do is understand Saturn and how he operates. So the key thing to understand with Saturn is that he is very, very good at achieving practical goals, right? He's a man of action, just like Mars. He's a man of the material world. But he is not good at all at being a visionary, at knowing what's possible, at having dreams. He's basically delusional when it comes to those things. He sees things through a distorted lens of negativity and pessimism. But there's some weird, I don't know why it's this way, but for some reason sometimes when we suddenly see things in a really negative way, we feel like, oh, now I'm being realistic. You know, somehow we associate cynicism with realism when really they're not all the same thing. And so you have to be careful under Saturn. When you're seeing things in a more cynical, negative way, don't believe for a second that you're suddenly being realistic. You're under a negative delusion. So that's the most important thing to realize with Saturn, is that he puts fumes in your brains, which causes you to see things through a distorted lens of negativity. And it's not real. It's a delusion because he is not, his energy just isn't made for the world of dreams. You know, he's like a guy who's like, imagine a man who he's like really got it together. He's got a successful career. He's got houses and cars. And one day so you're like, oh wow, he must be smart. So you ask him for advice on something, like a situation you're having, and he's just like, yeah, people are people or something. You know, like he doesn't have a lot to say because that's not where he is. He's successful because he's always focused on action. He doesn't necessarily have some clarifying philosophical perspective on life. And that's what Saturn's like. It's not going to clarify your mind and give you a more clear perspective on life because that's not what it's about. So you have to just recognize there's a distortion and then make adjustments in your brain so that you don't internalize that negative distortion as being your new reality. And then the second thing you have to do is you have to really utilize the power of Saturn to do what he is good at, which is making dreams a reality. He's good at working, he's good at organizing, he's good at giving you the energy and the consistency and the persistence to actually achieve something. And here's the thing about Saturn, is sometimes he's associated with really realistic dreams, which when people say that, what they end up meaning is kind of things that are just really conventional, that everyone assumes will work, right? So the idea would be that Saturn isn't going to help you if your dream is to fly, to fly like a butterfly, but that maybe he'll help you if your dream is to grow potatoes in a pot to save money. But in my opinion, that's really not true at all. He's kind of like a CFO. Any sort of company could hire a CFO. It doesn't matter if they sell magic crystals or if they sell gravel, and the CFO is going to be able to function with either type of arrangement. And Saturn's much like that. He can help you achieve dreams that you might consider just really down to earth, and he can help you achieve dreams that you might consider really fanciful, because the same basic principles apply, right? If you apply hard work, you apply organization, you apply persistence, if the dream is achievable, there's a decent chance that you can make it a reality. And Saturn's happy to work with you, regardless of what types of dreams you have and whether your dreams are Saturnine or not. So what you want to do with this transit is you want to take the energy of Saturn and apply it to your Neptunian dreams and ambitions, whatever those may be, right? Don't let Saturn determine the vision, but let Saturn come in to help you work towards the vision in a practical, dedicated, and persistent way. So what that means for you specifically will really depend on what role Neptune plays in your chart. It could be, it really could be anything depending on where Neptune is. But the core principle here is don't use this as a time to be negatively tinted by Saturn's influence. Instead, use it as a time to put a foundation under those things which mean something to you, right? Like, use it as a time to work towards those things which you find beautiful and which you find special and which you find meaningful, because that's probably going to be what Neptune is in your chart. Don't let Saturn get to your head and start messing with your head. So if nothing else, ride the transit out without believing for 1 second in Saturn's negative distortion lens. And best case scenario, use this transit to actually build a solid foundation under those things in life which you find the most dreamy. Thank you. I'm Julian Ackley, and this is a transit, Saturn Square Neptune.